Zenless Zone Zero's character designs are a significant step up compared to their previous games. Sure, they may not be perfect at times, but when your characters go from looking like this to this, then it's a sign that you're definitely doing something right. There's only so many human designs you can churn out before you start to get repetitive, so why not throw an animal into the mix? Human-animal hybrids, also known as Thirens, are a race of anthropomorphic human beings that populate New Eridu. They are commonly distinguished by their distinctive animal-like features, some being more prominent than others. Now, some of you may find these Thirens cute, but enemies, be careful because they aren't one to be messed with. Nope, they possess superhuman abilities such as immense strength and super fast speeds depending on their physical traits. For example, Ellinger might seem like a normal aloof schoolgirl, but she can absolutely crush you with her tail if she really wanted to. By observation, it seems like male Thirens exhibit more animalistic physical traits than their female counterparts, who for the most part manage to maintain a more humanoid-like appearance. Kinda reminds me of that one anime where the male students exhibit this exact trait. I really wish we knew more about the backstory of the Thiren race, more specifically their origins, but unfortunately at this point information about them is scarce. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that there was some lonely deranged soul out there in New Eridu once upon a time who looked at a cat and went, yeah, that'll do. But I'm also not saying it's not true until proven otherwise. Love or hate them, I think it's safe to say that the overall addition of the Thiren concept really upped the game's appeal. Whether it be good writing or just a super comfy banger of a design, they're just so easy to get behind. Examples include the lovable giant Ben Bigger, the righteous and headstrong Seth Lowell, the cool and carefree Ellen, the cunning and adorable Nakamata, and the man, the goat, the one who single-handedly restarted everyone's furry phase, Von Lyacon. The purpose of this video is to shine the spotlight on our furry friends, why their designs work, how well they're written, and just my general overall thoughts. As much as I'd like to go through all of them, I have instead chosen to settle specifically for 3 Thirens, that of which I favor the most: Lyacon, Ben, and Seth. Let's start with Von Lyacon. He is the elegant leader of Victoria housekeeping and a canine Thiren. The choice of a canine design really does wonders for him on so many levels, as it complements his prim and proper image as well as his loyal servant nature. His involvement within the story has been surprisingly and welcomingly consistent, and he's even been getting a lot of spotlight in both 1.6 and 1.7 recently. Personally, I wished that they explored his earlier life a bit more, like did he have a family prior to meeting Jack, or was he an orphan from the start? What his original or current first name is? No, Von is not his first name. What exactly happened with his legs, his eye, etc, etc. Speaking of appearances, there is a lot going on here with Lyacon. The eye patch extends to a full-on face accessory which matches the choker-like thing around his neck, super tight shirt and vest with belts around its arms which look like they restrict blood flow. I don't know if that's healthy. The same type of belt can be seen wrapped around his tail, though less restrictively. Garters around his waist and wrists, sweet looking gloves with built-in brass knuckles, which he's only used once in recent memory I think, the aforementioned sick looking prosthetic legs, and last but not least, his secret weapon as lovingly dubbed by his fans, the Von Lyacon. The thing I like the most about Lyacon is that underneath the gentlemanly exterior lies an extremely curious dad-like figure who tries his best to connect with the youth. Like, he'll purposely go out of his way to learn all of the latest phrases and memes on internet to connect with Ellen better, but screw them up by using them all in the wrong context. He'll see something and be like, "Ellen, may I ask what oiled up 4K means?" I do hope we see more of Von Lyacon in the story going forward, though I understand he may have to take sort of a backseat role after 1.7 if this patch indeed wraps up the Mockingbird storyline. He's proven himself to be a very reliable asset to Pathan due to his ties with the Mayflowers, and most importantly the mayor himself, so I expect to see him play an even bigger role in the main story somewhere down the track. Ben Bigger, the gentle giant bear Thiren, was actually the first Thiren I was a fan of. I love this dude's story. Because of his towering stature and his scary initial appearance, Khalida, Bellabog's leader, often uses him as a bargaining chip in business negotiations to sway things into their favor. But in actuality, he's a giant math nerd and Bellabog's accountant. It's a running gag that gets me every single time. Similarly to Lyacon, we have yet to explore Ben's lore beyond his time in Billabong Industries. Despite this though, he is shown to have a close family bond with Kalita, so much so that they have actual synergy in combat, as well as their own unique attack and ultimate animations when placed on the same team. I'm actually curious to know of his real family if he has one, since we don't see much of the bear Thirens in general outside of their presence in the construction site. While we don't exactly see much of Ben story-wise, I do feel that he will get an arc of his own soon, just like Lyacon, because there's no way you let a killer design like this fall to the wayside. Speaking of design, he does have a pretty nice fit, don't you think? Overall, there isn't much to critique, but sometimes simpler is better. You got the comfy pants, utility belt at the ready, sick uniform jacket, which matches the pants, and most importantly, the gold chain, which of course signifies that he's an accountant. Would it kill him to wear steel-toed boots though? I never pass up the chance to interact with my boy Ben whenever he appears in the overworld. I mean, how could I? With his size, he sticks out like a sore thumb. Actually, now that I think about it, he appears quite a lot for me, so much so that I've lost count of how many times I've helped him fuel his caviar addiction at 6th Street's convenience store. Can you believe this guy doesn't like fish? Last but not least, we have our fluffy, friendly, feline pubsec friend, Officer Mew Mew. Just kidding, it's Seth Lowell. Oh Seth, where do I start with you? This dumbass himbo is literally the only character in the main story who doesn't know that we're Pathan. Point and laugh at him, ladies and gentlemen. Get a load of this guy. For real though, I expect that there's going to be a huge payoff when the time comes that he does find out. How will he react? We saw how Zhu Yuan reacted when she found out. I see it more or less being the same. Though I reckon he might take it worse because of the fact that it was ordered by his brother of all people to keep the information concealed, so he might have a valid crash out and we may have to fight him. The proxies seem to be well aware of this outcome too. Seth sort of reminds me of Knuckles the Echidna. Initially he's cool, looks strong and has his head in the right place, but
he's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
His feline design suits his personality. The feline ears and tail really add a lot to his overly excessive expressions, and you can tell that both the game artists and animators alike had a ball memeing Seth during some of his cutscenes. The thing I dislike about Seth, however, is his outfit. He's the type of person to wear his uniform on his days off, so he's practically stuck in a sleeveless PopSec uniform 24/7. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but compared to the other two, it's just so unremarkable. Even Ben's construction uniform blows this one out of the water for me. At least that one has style. Well, if he ever gets an outfit, you know I'd be changing that shit. In conclusion, Thirens have been a welcome breath of fresh air in the Hoyoverse scene. In a scene dominated by hot waifus and more hot waifus, plus a sprinkle of men, characters like these are an otherwise unexplored direction for the design team, but a very welcome one. It gives them more unique designs to play around with, and if done correctly, can leave a more of a lasting impression on the player than just any normal human being. Thiren or not, Zenless has been knocking it out of the park with designs as of late. And if if Pan Yinhu is anything to go by, it looks like there's a bright future ahead of us in the game. Let them cook. Who's your favorite Thiren so far? Sound off in the comments below. That's all for now. Leave a like or a comment, or Ben will sit on you.